Good morning and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, John. Happy New Year to you, Jason. Hey, tomorrow everybody goes to work. The atmosphere is different than it was back in the fall before the election. It's a new setting, new people. Take us forward as to what you are looking at right now.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of new players. First of all, though, Happy New Year to everyone watching this morning. Let's make 2023 a great year for everyone. But some of the new players, statewide especially, you've got new state treasurer Todd Russ, someone I served with in the House of Representatives. You've got Ryan Walters, new state superintendent of education. I think there's a lot of attention going to be in that office when it comes to education policy. You've got a new AG, and what I would also say is we have a new minority leader with Cindy Munson, someone who I also served with, a very good friend, and excited for her to take over that role in the minority leader.
Okay, so new faces there. It is a new setting and a new legislative session coming up. How's this all working out?
Yeah, so we are starting off. Happy New Year. I hope you're starting your new year in a wonderful way. I hope you're spending it with family and friends. And absolutely, I would say the big new setting to watch, one of them is the old setting. It's a new Governor Stitt. Second term, a massive win, clearly a mandate from the people for his policies, seeing how he handles that. And then the other big new player is going to be Ryan Walters, coming in as Oklahoma State Department of Education, saying he's going to add some accountability to what we're doing. Those are the two big new players. I know one of them's an old player, but when you're going into your second term with a win like that, should be new energy, should be some good stuff happening.
And the campaign begins to succeed him, okay. All right, last week you made a pledge to our audience, which was there's going to be adults in the room bringing us a government that works well. Let's talk about that. Who are they?
Well, one of the adults in the room, which I guess I could have talked about in the new people, is our new state attorney general, Gittner Drummond. I think Attorney General Drummond is going to do a great job. He's already hit the ground running. He campaigned on going after illegal foreign weed operations, and I'm going to run some bills for him to do those things. And then you have Speaker McCall and Pro Tem Greg Treat. You have steady hands at the wheel. Speaker McCall, longest serving speaker in the history of the state. Pro Tem Greg Treat is back again. You have serious policy people. So I think the combination of our new AG, and I guess I'd be remiss, I do need to throw in my friend Todd Russ as the new treasurer. I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, also the majority leader has been there a while too, right? So a
little bit.
This is the last term for you and the speaker and a lot of these folks. All right, you're talking about the adults in the room as well. Your thoughts about the personalities?
Well, yeah, I think personalities are real important, but I think it's important that we say it as adults in the room. Look, this first year in a two-year session should be a policy session. This is the one where everyone should come together and work together to create policy that makes our lives better. I think you have to talk about Speaker of the House, longest serving speaker. He's been there for quite some time, and this is his last term. So I think you definitely go there. And then Pro Tem Greg Treat. I think if you look at what he's done, it's his last term. The two of them working together could create some real synergy on policy going forward, and we should all look forward to it.
Okay, the old narrative is things start in February. No, they start this coming week. We'll talk about that when we get back. And welcome back on this New Year's. You know that one of the most silly things I hear constantly is those legislators just work February through May. That's not true. It never has been true. And in fact, it gets started this week with Organizational Week. What does that mean?
Well, what we do for Organizational Week will be coming in this week on the 3rd, and we're literally organizing. We are going to accept the election results. We're going to seat the new legislature, and we're going to be voting on House rules and, frankly, caucus rules. I already chaired the committee that redid House rules, so that work had already started with 21 other members. You'll see some debates over what are the rules we're going to govern ourselves with. You know, when you run for the legislature, we say it's a part-time job, but that's not really true. If you're doing your job for your constituents and you're doing it right, it's a full-time job that you just work a lot longer hours during session.
That's absolutely true. You've seen this from all sides, right? What happens in Organizational Week that matters to our viewing audience?
Well, yeah, Organizational Week, Organizational Day is a big day for the new members that have just gotten elected. They will be seated. It'll be the first time they sit, House floor, Senate floor, while they're with their caucus and the first votes they take on adopting rules. Some of the rules might shock you, things like you can't wear jeans on the House floor. I think we did that about 6 or 7 years ago, which really upset some of the rural members. But some of it is a lot more important, just how are you going to conduct the business of the House? Look, there's a lot of stuff taking place right now, everything from putting language in bills and getting those assigned to committees. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes right now.
And so that happens this week, but then what's next?
Yeah, so what's next is they'll start session on the second Tuesday of February, and they'll have the state-of-state address. You'll have all those bills in committees. We're going to start looking at policy. I think some things that everyone's looking for this year are what are we going to do with workforce development? That's going to be top of the lips of so many legislators. I think we're going to do education reform, and then we have a huge budget surplus right now. So what are we going to do with that? Are we just going to cut taxes? I think what we should look at is probably giving a rebate to everyone. Speaker of the House put that up last year, but giving a rebate is a responsible way of giving their money back without cutting taxes and not having it in the future.
We'll be getting into those budget matters. There's a lot to unpack there, but this week, after this week, what happens next?
It is hard to say what I think is going to happen next session in 30 seconds, but hear me quick. I'm going to try. Step number 1, parental choice. That's a big issue. It was on the ballot. I think something's coming. Step number 2, tax cuts. We are $2.58 billion above last year's budget. It is fiscally irresponsible to spend all of that money. We need to give some of it back to the citizens. The House is going to lead in that issue. The third issue is we are going to do something about these illegal medical marijuana grows that were permeating the state. And the fourth dark horse you didn't expect, I bet we talk about sportsbook this year, and I hope we go a long way to getting it done.
I'll bet you're right. Okay. Thanks for watching Your Vote Counts. See this again at news9.com/YourVoteCounts and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.